Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Scott Schell and I'm a specialist in the Germanic languages. I have a PhD in Germanic Linguistics from UC Berkeley, an MA in Linguistics from Wayne State University, and a bachelor's degree in German. And today what I would like to do is go ahead and discuss the next 10 names in the Old Saxon personal names series. So first of all, just to clarify a couple of things, these names are attested in the Old Saxon speaking area and are dated to before the year 1000. Typically they are dated between about 700 or 800 up until about 1000 CE. That is why I have called these the Old Saxon personal names, because anything that sort of post-dates that year could arguably not even be Old Saxon anymore. So our first name today is going to be Nîðhard. Nîðhard. This is literally hate and hard, or hate bold. And the idea of hate here should be placed in a 9th century Saxon warrior context. It is not a sort of negative quality. A name such as like hate bold or hate ing is an epithet meant to inspire fear into one's enemies. And fortunately for us, we do have the Latinate form recorded, and it appears as Nîðhardus, and that US right there tells us that this name was meant for a man. But again, if you would like the Heliand reconstructed form, it is simply Nîðhard. And our second name today is going to be Nîðing. Nîðing. This is literally hate again, and ing, and once again the hate must be placed in that proper warrior context of this time. But what's more curious is the ing here, because it means like someone who is a descendant of ing. Of course, it could also mean someone who is devoted to ing, but either way you do have the god ing here in this personal name. Fortunately for us, the name Nîðingus actually does appear in a manuscript. Again, this is the Latinate form just like the previous one, but by seeing this name recorded in this Latinate form, we see that the US there tells us that it was for a man. And as you can see, I've given you two different ways to write the name in runes, whether it's the I plus the ing rune or the I plus the N and the G rune. Both are valid because both variations do occur in runic inscriptions. If you want to know which particular runic inscriptions they are, just go ahead and comment below and I'll let you know. And our third name today is going to be Nîðhard. Nîðhard. This is literally need, battle courage, and this name was recorded specifically for a female. So this is a name for one who has a great deal of courage and carries out what is necessary. It's a great name for someone who has always been there in times of need. And the word need here is directly related to the rune Náuðís. So you do have a sort of runic quality here embedded within this name. And if you look into the concept of the need fire, for example, you'll see that the word need was not really used then like it is used in today's context. It was literally like a person's last resort to, for example, cure cattle. As we see that they actually, for example, Grimm tells us that when the cattle were sick, the people in the village would create a need fire, and they would literally extinguish every single light throughout the village, and then people would gather and have the cattle jump over this need fire to cure a sickness. So it is literally a need which should be placed in the context of something that is absolutely necessary. And just to clarify, what I mean is that they would extinguish every single light within the village, except for, of course, the specific need fire that is created for the ritual. And our fourth name today is going to be Óðaldag. Óðaldag. This is literally ancestral home day, and it is recorded specifically for a man. So this is a name for someone who is sort of obviously attached to the concept of the ancestral homeland, and also to the concept of day, or dagas, if you want to actually put it a sort of like runic quality onto that name. So this is one of the few Germanic languages which point us to this name actually meaning ancestral home. It specifically does mean ancestral home, in Old Saxon, but in the other Germanic languages, it can kind of just mean like an estate, but it's used in such a context in the Heliand where it clearly does mean an ancestral home or homeland. And our fifth name today is going to be Othelind. Othelind. This is literally ancestral home, Linden. And this name was specifically recorded for a woman. So this name is for someone who embodies the epicenter of their people and has the qualities of a linden tree and all of those sort of qualities that sort of extend from the linden tree to the linden spear, to the linden shield, and so on and so forth. In the epic, Das Hildebrandslied, the Song of Hildebrand, we see that shields are referred to, for example, as linden woodboards. So perhaps this epithet could mean a woman who protects the ancestral homeland. And I guess I'll just go ahead and plant a little seed here regarding the Hildebrandslied. I'm probably going to do a video on that very soon, but this Hildebrandslied, is actually in Old High German, apparently. But if you really look at it, there are a lot of Old Saxon forms in there, for instance. And it was probably an original Old Saxon story. So more on that later. And our sixth name today is going to be Radthrúð. Radthrúð. This is literally reed strength. And this name was recorded for a female. So this is one who is strong and provides good counsel. The word Thrúð here is also directly related to Thrúðr, the name of Thor's daughter in the Eddic material. This name also appears on the Karlevi runestone, where she is placed in a war context. And our seventh name today is going to be Rátheri. Rátheri. This is literally reed host. And this particular name was recorded for a man. So again, like all of the other reed council names, I don't really have a whole lot more to add here other than just this is someone who is associated with the host, as in like the wild hunt, potentially, and it is also someone who gives good counsel. For our eighth name here, we have Regenbercht. Regenbercht. This is literally reed or even fate or ruler and radiant. And this name is specifically recorded for a man because, again, of the Latinized ending that we have in the corpus. But of course, Regenbercht is the reconstructed Old Saxon Heliand form. So the first part of this word, regen, is actually the word which is cognate to Old Norse regen, meaning gods or advisors. It's also related to Gothic ragen, meaning advice or counsel. It is also seen in the compound Raginakundo on the Nolabi runestone, where it is said that the runes come from the divine rulers. In Foluspo, the most ancient gods are also referred to as the Ginregen, or the holy rulers. This name seems to imply the function of a general, a ruler, or a chieftain of some sort. In the context of human Old Saxon epithets, it most likely probably referred to someone who just simply offered good counsel, like a good drochthen or ruler would. And for our ninth name here, we have Regenhild. Regenhild. This is literally reed, or counsel, or some form of rulership, or even fate, battle courage. And this name was specifically recorded for a female. So this is one who is courageous and offers sound advice, and also possesses the qualities behind the name Regen in Regenberg, in the name that I had just explained. And our final name here is Reganuuîh. Reganuuîh. This is literally reed or counsel or even God, fate, and Holy One. The attestation here recorded is actually feminine, but the reconstruction that I'm giving you right here is masculine. So in case you're wondering why I would do that, in the Heliand, it is actually a masculine noun, just the word we itself. So the form that I have reconstructed is technically masculine according to Heliand standards. However, if you did want to make this clearly a feminine name, that's all you need to do is add an A to the root, and then you have Wia. Reganuuîh. If you wanted to make this clearly masculine and you don't want to rely on just the root, you could also just throw an O on the end of this word and make it Reganuuîh, and then that will give you a very clear masculine name. This is all very similar to, for example, the word angel in English. Typically, the word angel is kind of neutral, but if you do want to use the angelo form, it's clearly for, men, whereas angela is clearly more of the feminine quality of the word angel. So in this case, it's something similar with like we, and then weio and weia. So we by itself is a masculine noun, but if you want to clearly make it more feminine, then you would just say weia. But if you want to make it very clearly masculine, then you would just say weio. All right, everyone. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe, leave a comment or question below, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Sorry I haven't been so active lately. Just got a lot of stuff going on right now. But yeah, I still got a lot of material planned for the future, so I'll see you all soon.